Hey guys, how's it going? It's Trieyx here, back with a Genshin Impact video. Okay, so in today's video, I kinda want to talk about the whole artifact system and artifacts in general, because I've never actually gotten around to actually talk about this topic, and I know this topic is a very widely discussed topic, and I kinda want to give my own thoughts on what I think about the artifact system. So the best way I can summarize the artifact system as a whole is that the artifact system / artifacts is an Avenger level threat to our Resin. Like, it takes so much resin just to get a good artifact, and it takes even more resin to get a perfect artifact. I've seen people spend like months worth of resin just to get the perfect artifact, and not even like a whole set. It's just like one piece of a perfect artifact, and that's insane to me. Like, that's so much resin wasted just to get one perfect artifact that probably won't increase your damage by that much. But yeah, it's kind of insane. So yeah, as for me, I haven't really artifact farmed in a very long time. Like, ever since the game first came out, I think like I probably started artifact farming 2 months after the game came out, and after that I kind of stopped. But even though I stopped, when I first started, I was farming artifacts like a maniac. Oh my god, I remember spending maybe like a month just farming like some artifacts from my traveler. At the time I was trying to work on my geo traveler and my animal traveler, and I was farming both the animal artifact domain as well as the geo artifact domain, and my god, I spent so much resin farming that. When you first start off this game, they give you a whole bunch of the fragile resin. So once I reached level 45, I had about maybe 50 something, like maybe 55 or 56 of the fragile resin, and I used basically all of that on artifact farming. And let me tell you, when I finished using all that resin on artifact farming, I basically got not even like 10 good artifacts, not even perfect, like just 10 good artifacts. Like, I spent all that resin and I got absolute garbage, like for the most part. Now, I can show you guys right over here. So like before, I was farming a whole bunch of the geo artifacts as well as the animal artifacts, and I basically have 75 of the archaic Petra left, and as well as 32 of the viridescent
Okay, don't hurt yourself.
How do you guys pronounce it? I'm really bad pronouncing stuff, so yeah, this is what I have left. And what I have left, like half of them are probably unusable. But also, while farming the archaic Petra, I've been basically farming for the retracing bullet as well, because those two share a domain together. Same with the animal artifact, I was farming the maiden beloved artifact as well. So I have a decent amount of the maiden beloveds, and I kind of got rid of most of the retracing bullets. So let me show you guys what I have left of these artifacts. But in terms of the sands, I only got a couple of good ones. I only have 4 of the attacks, and they're not even that great. None of them have the perfect substats. A few of them have crit rate and crit damage, but none of them are together. Some of them are garbage like this one. In terms of the feathers, they're a little bit easier because they only have one main stat, so I got a couple of them with crit rate and crit damage, but for the most part, a lot of them are very poopy, or they have 1 crit rate and 1 crit damage. And same thing with the flowers, I got a few good ones, but most of them are kind of trash. And in terms of the goblet, I only got like maybe 3 of the geo damage bonus. Out of all that resin I spent, I only got 3 of them, and only got 1 physical damage goblet, and only like 2 of the attack goblets. And don't get me started on the mask, because I only got 1 crit damage and like 2 crit rates out of all that resin I spent. And I'm like, my god, they're not like that, but they're not really that great. Like, this one's okay, it has crit damage, and this one, like, only crit damage mask, and the substats are complete garbage. And all the crit rate for this one, the substats are garbage. And if I go to my animal ones, even worse. Like, I only got 2 crit damage and no crit rate. In terms of the cup, I only got like 3 animal damage bonus and maybe like 2 attack, and then like 1 geo. In terms of my sands, everything here is all attack, but that's everything I have left. I basically got rid of like most of the sands. And like I said before, these are really easy, so I'm not gonna really talk too much about these ones. But yeah, this one is my best feather. I got 31 crit damage, which I got really lucky on that one. But something like this will probably be super rare. Like, I never had an artifact that comes close to this one, and I feel like this is like a one-time thing. I'll probably never get an artifact as good as this one. Yeah, something like this is basically a perfect artifact, and I only got 1 of these out of the 50-something fragile resin I spent on artifact farming. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe I wasted all that resin just for like nothing. So yeah, artifact farming in this game is really bad, like super RNG based, and that's why I want to show you guys basically what I got from my experience when artifact farming. And yeah, as you guys can see, I did not get that many great artifacts, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't really artifact farm as much as I used to anymore, because artifacts is way too RNG, and there's so many things I can do with my resin that's better than artifact farming in my opinion. I like working on the permanent stuff, things that can't be replaced on my characters. So for example, talents, like you guys can't replace talents, it doesn't require RNG, so I kind of focus all my attention on talents. Not only that, but levels. Like if you guys haven't seen, all my characters for the most part are level 90. So right over here, almost all of them are level 90 except for these two, because these two are new, so I gotta work on them. So yeah, when it comes to levels, you guys can't replace that. There's no RNG to it. Yeah, basically I just focus on the permanent stuff, and once I finish all the permanent stuff and nothing else to do with my resin, then I'll start artifact farming. So I'm almost done with basically everything I have to do, so it won't be long until I start artifact farming again. But this time around, when I start artifact farming, it means that I basically got nothing else to do but artifact farming. So yeah, when I first started artifact farming, there's so many things I could have done with my resin that would have helped me more than just farming for a few good artifacts. But not only that, but they release new artifacts every update or every other update. Say artifact that I farm now might not be as good as artifact in the future. Like for example, when I was farming my Geo Traveler, like the artifacts I farmed then might not even be my Traveler's best in slot artifacts now. Like since they added a whole bunch of new artifacts, all the resin I spent farming my artifacts back then is kind of wasted in a way, because now the better artifacts in my Traveler, and now I have to refarm the artifacts again. Yeah, that's why I kind of focus on the permanent stuff, because artifacts can be easily replaced, and artifacts can be easily replaced, whereas talents and levels cannot be replaced at all. So that's my ideology anyway. And like I said before, once I finish all the permanent stuff, there might even be better artifacts than I have to farm back then, so I won't have to waste all my resin farming for an artifact I might not use in the future, because those future artifacts are a lot better than the artifacts back then. So it's kind of good to wait a little bit until you farm your artifacts. But unless you got nothing better to do, or if you guys want to, you know, perfect a certain character because you like them, stuff like that, then personally I wouldn't really be farming artifacts. I'll basically just farm artifacts until I get a decent artifact to use, and then start working on other stuff like talent. And after that, once you have nothing else to farm for, you can start farming artifacts. But yeah, that's just me anyway. But going back to the artifact system, like it requires so much RNG just to get a good artifact, and you might not even get that good artifact. All your artifacts could be garbage. You're not guaranteed to get anything. If you guys can get a perfect artifact, then you guys basically just won a lottery, because the chance of that happening is slim. So yeah, the artifact system has so much problems and RNG to it, and it's something that needs to be fixed. And the thing is that MiHoYo knows, or I guess HoYoverse now, they kind of call themselves that. So yeah, basically HoYoverse knows the problems when it comes to artifact farming, but they're not really doing anything about it. And the reason why they're not doing anything about it is probably because it's not really a big issue to them, because not only does farming artifact require you to use all your resources, and doing so, there's some people out there like whales and stuff like that who spend money on getting primos to restore the resin. So yeah, they can generate a little bit of profit from that, albeit probably not that much of a profit, but they still generate some sort of money, and they don't want to, you know, lose that little bit of money, because as a company you don't want to lose any money you can get. That's one of the reasons why, or at least that's what I think. But not only that, but it kind of gives people something to do for the end game, because a lot of people are saying how there's no end game in Genshin. So by having the artifact system be so RNG based, it allows people to keep farming the artifact domains and basically keeping them busy. And I'm just assuming that's one of the ways to keep people playing this game, and to basically log more hours into this game, because that's one of the things that looks good when it comes to their reports and stuff like that. And also because the artifact system is not really broken. Like, it's broken in a way that is not great, but in terms of gameplay, it's not really broken. Like, they kind of want to focus their issues on fixing things that are actually broken, like bugs and, you know, glitches and stuff like that. So yeah, since the artifact system is kind of working as intended, they're not really going to focus on something that works fine right now. So when it comes to tech companies, they basically have a list of things that they want to prioritize on. And when it comes to the artifact system, I'm pretty sure it's not one of the priorities right now. But yeah, don't worry though, because MiHoYo or HoYoverse knows that a lot of people don't like the artifact system. I'm pretty sure they know. I'm pretty sure they get complaints every single day on their customer service. There are a lot of people on Twitter and YouTube, whatever, they talk about the problem with the artifact system. And even on their own official website, they probably talk about it, the Reddit and stuff like that. So yeah, they know about it. It's just that they're not prioritizing or fixing it right now. But they actually acknowledged how bad the artifact system is in their recent survey. If I can find a picture, I'll show you guys. It's a screenshot of one of the questions in a recent survey that they did a while back. I think it states something about how, you know, the artifact system is like bad, like why is it bad? Like it's too RNG based and stuff like that. So the fact that they acknowledge it means that I feel like they're gonna be fixing the artifact system soon. Like, I'm not sure when, but I think they are gonna plan on fixing it, or making it at least a little bit better than it is now. If I were to guess when they'll be, you know, fixing the artifact system, it'll probably be somewhere around like 3.0. I feel like that would be the best time to at least make the artifact system a little bit better, if they were gonna plan on doing that, because 3.0 is like a new update, new number, and Sumeru will probably be out on 3.0, so yeah, I think that's the perfect time to fix it. But then again, who knows? It might take them until like 5.0 to fix the artifact system, or they might not even fix it at all. Like, who knows? Like, I have no idea. But the fact that it's in the recent survey kind of gives me a little bit of hope of them maybe making the artifact system a little bit better. So yeah, overall, I think the artifact system is really bad, very RNG based, requires way too much resin and time to farm the artifact. And not only that, but all that time and resin might not even guarantee you to get a good artifact, let alone a perfect artifact. Yeah, like definitely something needs to be changed, because this is definitely an Avenger level threat to our resin, because my god, like some of the horror stories I read of people farming artifacts, spending months just to get one good artifact. I feel so bad for what people had to go through just to get a good artifact. And now that I gave my thoughts on what I think about the artifact system, I kind of want to list 5 things they can do to make the artifact system a lot better than it is now. And one of those things is to separate artifacts by domains. And what I mean by that is that no longer will there be 2 different artifacts in one domain. I think this is separated into different domains. Say, for example, you guys see right over here, the animal artifact as well as the maiden artifact are both together in one domain. So one of the things they can do is to separate those 2 artifacts into 2 different domains. That way there'll be one domain for the animal artifact and one domain for the maiden artifact, and allows people to pick which artifact they want to farm. Separating the 2 artifacts into 2 different domains will already cut half of the RNG out of it. Like if they do nothing else but that already makes it so much better. Like how many times have you been farming artifacts and you got 2 of the artifacts you didn't want, and you kind of just wasted 40 resin on that? Like that happened to me so many times. And if you just separate those 2 artifacts into 2 different domains, that alone will give me more chances of trying to get a actual good artifact for the artifact that I want. So I think that's a really good change that they can do. And if they do nothing else but that, like it doesn't really matter, because that change alone is already like really good. So yeah, they kind of did the same thing with the books. So on like Sundays, they used to put all 3 of the books into one domain, and the rewards would kind of be like split between the 3 different books. But now on Sundays, they split into 3 different domains. So yeah, they can do that with books. They can do the same thing with artifacts. So I think it's something that's not too far-fetched for them to do. So it would be great if they separate the 2 artifacts into 2 different domains. Yeah, that would make life so much easier. But another change that I would do that will make artifact farming a little bit better is if they guarantee 1 main stat for 1 piece of artifact that you need per day. So let's say I'm farming for a crit damage mask, right? So every day before you go into the domain, the game will ask you what piece of artifact you're looking for, as well as what main stat you guys are looking for. And then you guys will pick, oh, I want crit damage mask for the archaic Petra or whatever. So the game will be like, okay, so you want that, and you do the domain, and again you get 1 crit damage mask. The substats will still be random, but at least you guarantee 1 main stat of the 1 piece you're looking for, and that in itself will save you guys so much resin and time. And I feel like it'd be a really good quality of life update for artifact farming. And if 1 per day is kind of OP, and they make it like once per week, like even with 1 per week, like that still is a big difference. Like you can be farming for months and not even get 1 crit damage mask, but with this system you guarantee get 5 crit damage masks per month, which like in itself is not that great, but at the same time it's better than it was before. Yeah, I think that would be a really good change. But for me personally, I think it should be 1 per day. But at the same time, I can see where it gets a little bit OP. Another change I think it would be good is that it will allow you to pick out what piece of a certain set you guys want to farm. So yeah, for example, let's say I'm farming for the mask, right? For the archaic Petra. With this change, it'll give me an option to say that I'm farming for mask of the archaic Petra. Every single time I do the domain, it'll guarantee that I only get the mask for the archaic Petra. The main stat and the substat will still be random, but at least I'm guaranteed to get a mask every single time I do the domain. And that change will be insane. Sure, the main stat and the substat will still be random, but guaranteeing that you get the item that you're looking for will be so much better. Like I think it's even better than guaranteeing 1 main stat of a certain item every single day, because every single time you do the artifact domain you get 2 of the masks, so you kind of have more chances of getting the main stat that you want. Granted, it's still not guaranteed, so you might not even get the main stat you want, but at the same time, it would be a little bit better. So I don't know, it really depends on your RNG. But another change that I would love to see them do is if they allow us to kind of fuse 2 artifacts of the same piece together to re-roll the main stat. So for example, let's say I'm trying to get a crit damage mask for the archaic Petra, and I did 1 run of the domain. I got 2 masks, right? So I got a defense mask and an HP mask, and with this change it'll allow me to fuse the defense mask and the HP mask together and re-roll the main stat and maybe get lucky and get the crit damage. Like that change I feel like would be really good as well. Like it's still RNG based, the main stat and the substats will, you know, still be randomized, but at least allow me to get rid of these like garbage one that I don't want, and maybe allow me to get the main stat I'm looking for. And with this system, the substats also be rerolled as well. So yeah, both the main stat and the substat will be rerolled. Yeah, there still would be some RNG factor into it, but at least it's better than it was before. So that'd be a good way to get rid of these garbage artifacts that we don't want. And the last change that I'd love to see them do is if we could reroll the substats for 2 same main stat artifacts that we have. And what I mean by that is that let's say I have 2 crit rate masks right here, right? And the substats on both of them are kind of garbage. Since these 2 main stats are similar, I should be allowed to fuse them together and re-roll the substats and hope to get a better substat basically. So yeah, essentially they kind of have to have the same main stat in order to re-roll the substat. Now be it's kind of costly, but when you're trying to get the perfect artifact, you don't really care. You kind of want the best substat. There's no point of having a good main stat artifact if the substats are kind of poopy, so I guess it'd be fine. I guess it'd be fine even though it is kind of costly because you're wasting like 2 crit rate artifacts, but something like that could be added with the changes I also listed beforehand. I wouldn't make it so bad, but at the same time, I think this change, even without the other changes added into it, will be way better than it is now. So yeah, that's all the changes I can think of. I'm pretty sure there's probably way more changes that it can do, and probably way better ones that I have listed. So if you have to think of anything else, definitely let me know. Like, leave a comment down below what changes you guys would do to the artifact system, as well as what you guys think about my changes. And if you guys want to add on to some of the changes I listed, feel free to do so, because I'm curious to see what else you guys can come up with to make the artifact system even better. So yeah, to summarize this video, the artifact system is an Avenger level threat to our Resin. It's really bad. Way too much RNG involved, and way too resource heavy, and a complete time waster. It definitely needs to be fixed, and something that HoYoverse knows, and they're probably gonna fix in the future. We don't know when. All I know is that they acknowledged it in the recent survey, so I think changes will be coming to the artifact system eventually. I'm assuming 3.0 if they're gonna do it, but who knows, it might be like 10 years from now. But this video is something I wanted to make for a long time, ever since I first started artifact farming, but I never really had the chance to make the video and give my thoughts on the artifact system. But yeah, now that I finally have time, I decided to make this video, so I'm not a big fan of the artifact system right now, and I think that there needs to be changes made to it. But yeah, that's kind of about this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said before, if you have any more ideas on what other changes for the artifact system that you guys would do, definitely let me know, as well as if you guys want to add on to what I had to say, as well as if you guys want to add your own experience on artifact farming, definitely let me know, because I'm curious to read what your experiences are with artifact farming, because my experience with artifact farming was horrendous. Like, it was really bad. But if you guys want more Genshin Impact videos, definitely hit the like and subscribe button, as I plan on doing more of these type of discussion videos and stuff like that, as well as some more gameplay videos, like occasional Spiral Abyss videos, or I might do guides in the future. So yeah, maybe I might do like event videos as well, like just doing the event, as well as definitely more summoning videos for sure. The next summoning video I might pull on is on Yelan, or I think that's her name, I'm not sure, but and she's coming out in like 2.7, so it'll be a little bit until I do a summoning video on this game, but definitely there'll be more summoning videos in the future. So yeah, if you guys want more of those, definitely hit the like subscribe button. And yeah, also I upload Genshin Impact videos every Saturday, so that's definitely time to check out my channel if you guys are interested. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. Hopefully I enjoyed this video. Hopefully they fix the artifact system soon, because it needs to be fixed. Like, it's so bad. It's something the Avengers with the Infinity Gauntlet would need to fix. Like, they need Iron Man to snap his fingers to make that wish come true. Like, oh my goodness. But anyways, that's kind of about this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.